I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes on World Diabetes Day. No joke, that's real. World Diabetes Day. The irony. And I've lived with the condition now for almost 2 months. And I'm going to tell you what it's really like. Hello, I'm the UK Diabetic Guy. And over the next 5 or 10 minutes, I'm going to share with you how my diet has changed, the new exercise regime I have, if you can call it a regime, the medication I'm on, and provide some valuable insight into something that's almost never talked about with type 2 diabetes. And that's the emotional effects of having the condition alongside the physical ones. For those of you that are new to the channel, I'll just recap on the symptoms I was experiencing, which led me to go to the doctors and ask for a blood test. So I'd lost 1.5 stone in weight without trying over a period of 5 months. Muscles on my body that used to be rock hard and well defined were just disappearing in front of my eyes. I was weeing in the middle of the night. That was brand new. I was getting cramp in the middle of the night in my calves, my left one in particular. Didn't know that was a thing. I was being sick in the morning. Not really sick. I had a feeling down here that I needed to, if you like, reach. And a little bile would occasionally come up. That had previously been diagnosed, by the way, as I think they call it GORD, gastroesophageal reflux disorder. So the doctor prescribed me omeprazole for that. But it turned out that was another symptom as well. Extremely tired after food. I mean, I was asleep 10 minutes after my evening meal, which obviously impacted me having breakfast and lunch because I didn't want to fall asleep in the middle of the day. So all of those symptoms, I thought, right, something's not right. I need to go and have a blood test. And I've been getting tested periodically for 12 or 13 years. Everything had been fine on my previous tests, but this time something was very, very wrong. And within 24 hours of having my blood tests, I got the results and I was in hospital. So there we go. That's the background. So what changed immediately? What was week 1 like? So week 1 was taking all the rubbish out of my food cupboard, out of my fridge and out of the freezer and literally putting it in the bin. Gone were the crisps and the pork scratchings and the tinned meat. All right, I like corned beef, all right, guilty as charged. I was getting rid of the processed food, like the fake chicken steaks. Lager just remained in the fridge. I didn't touch it. But yeah, there was honestly, I spent a fortune at the shops buying whole foods like fish and chicken and turkey and seeded bread, just wholemeal bread, low-fat Greek yogurt, vegetable. I literally bought a fruit bowl, first time ever, and I filled it with fruit. And I bought some bottled water, not just because, obviously I'm at home, I'm always there a tap, but wherever I went, I'd have a bottle of water. So diet was really important to me. And when I understood that my pancreas had not been producing insulin, and that's why I was having a crash after food, I could start eating again. It was nothing short of life-changing to have a meal with my family and not go to bed afterwards. It was huge. So I went from having nothing till maybe 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning, which would have been a pasty or a sausage roll at work, to having cereal or wholemeal toast for breakfast, just a little portion. And that would see me through to lunch, at which point, instead of having another pasty or a Scotch egg, I would have a wholemeal sandwich, maybe tuna mayo, chicken, lettuce, tomato, that sort of thing. In the evening, instead of grazing on crisps alongside lager, I would have a meal. I would have a tray bake. I would cut up a load of green vegetables, bit of garlic, onion seasoning, maybe chopping a bit of chicken in there. Fabulous. So the first thing was my diet changed radically and I loved it. I started to enjoy food again. I could never enjoy food when I was pre-diabetic, before I knew I had diabetes, because I knew what would happen. And that not only affected my home life, it affected going to friends' house when we had dinner parties. It would affect going to a restaurant, Christmas parties, birthdays. You know, every time we went out for food, just couldn't do it. I was sat in the corner thinking, oh, that looks delicious. I could do that, but what's the point? I'll be sat in the corner snoring my head off in a minute. So the biggest change for me in week 1 was my diet. All of a sudden I could eat food again, the right food, and I loved it. That will continue. What I've started to do now is batch cook. So instead of spending an hour in the kitchen every night, I'll spend maybe an hour and a half in the kitchen 1 night a week, and everything is nicely portioned up in the fridge. Not only is it time saving, but it's money saving as well. You've got the convenience factor. If you ever need to go out at short notice, I know I've got that meal to go with me. In a previous video, I've often said my children think I'm going on a picnic every time I leave the house, because I've got sweets and biscuits and sandwiches squirreled away in my pockets. So I can take a plastic tub of healthy food with me as well, in case we are delayed and I don't go back for a while. So that's great. Diet is fantastic. Also, as an ex-chef, I intend to make a series of videos on healthy, cheap, tasty, diabetic friendly meals. So if anyone has got a favourite, if you've always thought, well, that sounds great, Steve, that you can cook, but I can't, I don't know where to start, just pop some notes, drop me a message. I'll be very, very happy to cook meals on request, if that's going to be helpful. So the next part then is exercise. Years ago, I used to go to the gym. Back issues prevented that. Having children, young children, has also prevented the time I've got to go to the gym again, or swimming, which I love to do. Never really been much of a runner, so I haven't done much of that over the years. But now what I do, because I'm sort of confined to the house, particularly when I get back from work during the week and at weekends, it's a series of exercises based upon which room I'm in. Okay, so if I'm upstairs in the bedroom, it's the laundry basket, it's reps. It sounds daft, all right? It sounds really daft. Just imagine me with a basket full of clothes and socks spilling over the top, and I'm lifting it. You know, I'm not getting hot and sweaty. I'm never going to get massive biceps from it, but it's getting my heart working. That's the key to it. When I do the vacuuming, instead of doing it just the once, I do it twice, and I run, right? As much as I can, I jog with the vacuum cleaner, and I make bigger extensions than I ordinarily would. All right, again, sounds daft, but it's a way to get the heart moving. When I'm waiting for my toast, I'm leaning on the kitchen side and I'm doing a series of push-ups. Same when I've got the coffee pot on. 30 of those, nice and easy. I've got 2 children, and they're really supportive. They find it hilarious. So one of the things I can do with them is the floor is lava. It's an obstacle course. They'll set up cushions and blankets and toys, and I've got to hop from one to the other. I bench press them, right? I get on the floor with the children in my arms, and I lift them over my head, right? And sock golf, we play sock golf. Have you ever played that? You get socks and a ball, and you tap it around, you decide where the flag's going to be, and you smash it around the house. It's just little things, like most of my content, the message I want to get across is little things make a massive difference if you're consistent with them. And you can look around your house and your garden, and you can easily find ways to get your pulse raised if you look hard enough. I mean, if you're in the garden, get some plant pots full of stones and do carry one to one end of the garden, pop it down, carry the other one back, and carry the other one back, and so on. It's simple, it's effective. So even though I'm now on insulin, which has put a little weight back on, which is good because I needed to, because I'd lost 1.5 stone, like I said, without trying, I'm not putting too much on because the exercise is countering that as well. I will get to the swimming pool sooner rather than later because I enjoy swimming and it's the best all-round fitness there is, I think. So little bits of anything is great. Make it consistent. Aim for 15 minutes a day. You don't have to spend a fortune on spinning classes or yoga or a gym membership. Just go for a walk. Park 2 streets further away than what you used to, what you need to. and try and have some fun with it. Try and have some fun, because it's vital. It's vital as a type 2 diabetic that you do get some exercise. Medication and insulin. So I'm on 2 different types of medication now. I was on glycoside, that served its purpose, that's gone now. I'm on metformin, and I'm on fenofibrate. I take the former morning and evening with food, and the fenofibrate I take once in the morning. I do set a reminder on my phone, because with young children, and I get up early for work as well, I just don't want to forget. And the easiest way is just to set an alarm on my phone. And what I've also done, because repeat prescriptions are brand new to me, I've registered on my NHS app, and all the meds, including the Sharpie box and needles and blood strips, anything associated with medication management is listed on the NHS app. So 3 or 5 days before you run out of anything, you can just open the app and just request it, and in 3 or 5 days it's at your pharmacy. So it's no inconvenience at all. I've set a reminder. I know I've always got some from the pharmacy down the road. The insulin is an Abasaglar, I think it's pronounced, pen. It's about yay big, lives in the fridge until I need it, and then it remains at room temperature for the 5 days I use it. You just put a little needle on, you turn the dial at the end until you get to the right amount of insulin, pop it in the tummy. I do it on different parts of the tummy so it doesn't become sore. I could do it in my thigh if I wanted to. I could do it in my butt, but I choose not to do that. I can see where I'm putting it in the belly, and that works fine. And honestly, the needle's tiny, you won't feel it. It's a breeze. If you've ever had a cannula fitted for a prolonged period of time, or you've ever had just your bloods taken, that is far worse than injecting yourself with the insulin pen. So don't panic, all right? It's absolutely fine. So they're the 3 main things. I'll touch quickly on sleep before I move to the emotional side of it. Sleep is really, really important. It gives your body a chance to repair and rest. What I've started to do now is, instead of watching YouTube in bed on my phone, I listen instead, because it gets me into a deeper sleep, I've found, which is really beneficial. Also, I try not to eat beyond 7:30 at night, and I certainly don't have any caffeine after my evening meal around about 6 o'clock. Those 2 things can also benefit me getting a sound night's sleep. And again, I've got 2 young children. They're at the age, thankfully, where they don't get up in the middle of the night. But I've never always slept that well. Because of young children, I think as a parent, you're always hyper alert to it. But I've got to try and get in bed at a reasonable time, because I'm up early and I've got to get the 8 hours. The 7, 8, 9 hours is critical for consistency for a type 2 diabetic. Having 4 or 5 hours one night and then 12 the next isn't really going to work. You can't borrow from one night and put it into another. You need consistently 7, 8, 9 hours of sleep every single night. All right, sleep is massively overlooked as a type 2 diabetic. Put it alongside, put it on par with your medication. Healthier eating and exercise is that important. So the emotional side then, this is really the thrust of this little video. It was easy for me to deal with the acceptance of the diagnosis of type 2 diabetes, because for years I felt something was wrong, and it was nice for me to have that clarity. Yes, you are diabetic. Yes, you are right. This is why you felt this way. This is why you're presenting with those symptoms. And I find flourish is probably too big a word, but I'm leading a better life because of it. I'm healthier, not just healthier now, but I know I'm going to be healthier for many, many years to come, because my diet has changed, my alcohol intake has dropped, and my exercise has risen, and I'm getting deeper sleep. So for me, it's just positives, tick, 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 all the way down. But it's also the flip side of what my family went through when I was in hospital, because I was told that I was very close to having a stroke and pancreatitis. Is it type 1? Is it type 2? You know, the call was in the air for a while. And my young children and wife in particular found that emotionally disruptive. And although they're on board with it now, they're really interested in, daddy pricking his finger and taking the bloods and helping with the exercise. It's still at the back of their mind. Well, it's not even at the back of their mind. It's at the front of their mind, actually, because my wife always checks in with my blood sugars and my diet. Are you sure you should be doing that? Are you going to be okay? My children ask regularly, are you going to have diabetes forever? Are you going to die? Can we do this, Daddy? Oh, but what about your diabetes? Oh, are you sure we can do this? So for them, it's more of an issue than it is for me. Which, although I've reconciled with having diabetes, I've got to manage their expectations and aspirations for my condition as well. And that can be emotionally challenging, because I don't want to see my family upset, particularly if I brought this on myself with unwise lifestyle choices. In more practical terms, you've got to tell DVLA about it. It will probably affect your insurance, particularly if you're going to go abroad. And looking down the line a little bit, my eyesight will probably get worse. The circulation around my feet will probably come worse. Will get worse. So it's not, okay, I've got diabetes, okay, that's fine, everything remains as it is in this moment in time. It won't. The chances are my body will deteriorate differently than someone that doesn't. So that's something that has to be monitored on a regular basis. And again, you've got to reconcile yourself to that will happen. So practical tips. I think what I've said already about your diet is key. Get rid of your processed food, buy whole food. And initially it might be more expensive, but in the long term it won't be, because you can batch cook. And white is shite, I'll be honest with you. The way white flour is processed and how it bloats your body, how it attacks your inside. Sorry, Hovis Morbitans, I don't want to put you out of business, right? It's a beautiful product, but in moderation, okay? If bread is your weakness, have wholemeal, granary, seeded. Try and limit the amount of white bread you have, not just for sandwiches, but white flour and pasta. Your pizza doughs, move over to sourdough pizza, okay? That's healthier. So eat brown and eat whole foods. Exercise, get any exercise you can, even if you're jogging on the spot waiting for a bus. Or when the adverts come on the telly, we've also tried this one as well. Every time the ad breaks on, we get down, we do push-ups, we do some planks, we lift our legs a little bit, we do the cycling on our back. Make it fun. That's the key to it. If you think exercise is a chore, you'll never do it. Well, not consistently anyway. If you push for time and you haven't got time to do 15-20 minutes, 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening, all right? Make it fun, make it achievable. Massive benefits. Get some quality sleep, go to bed earlier, turn your device off sooner, or your TV, whatever you do, and put the spoken word on. I find that really beneficial. And other people that I've sort of come out the woodwork all of a sudden. Once you say you're diabetic, they go, oh, I'm diabetic. Oh, are you? I didn't know that. So I've been learning from them as well. The spoken word is, I'm sure there's some science behind it, but it gets you into a deeper sleep. And this isn't a plug for a channel called Serenity, where I do the spoken word meditations. Well, is it a plug? Yeah, I suppose it is. It's called Serenity, all right? I'll put a link in the description. Have a listen to that. Ostensibly, they're made for people with ADHD or insomnia or a busy brain. I will be making more just general meditative guided sleep countdowns now that I know the benefits that it can have for type 2 diabetics and their need for consistent 8-hour sleeps a day. So have a look at that as well. Drink water, absolutely vital you stay hydrated. Every time you pass a tap, have half a cup, just a few mouthfuls. Take water to bed. Take some sugar to bed. Not to snack on as a midnight treat, but if your sugar drops and you're lying in bed and you can't come downstairs, have a pack of wine gums next to you. Have some dextrose tablets. Take the honey up. And have some crackers alongside as well, because in a different video I've spoken about the effects of having a hypo and how to balance your sugars again after a crash. You need sugar very quickly, 15 grams of glucose back in your body. When your blood sugar's restabilized, you need some long-acting carbohydrates like Rivitas or crackers or bread. So take those to bed with you as well. Really important, particularly if you're going to have an alcoholic drink, because your blood sugars might look normal before you go to bed, but they might dip in the middle of the night. Okay? So, what have I learnt after almost 2 months with diabetes? That diabetes is okay. All right? Don't feel there's a stigma attached to it, because there isn't. It's just a new chapter in your life that you can overcome with simple changes, consistently simple changes. Get more exercise, drink more water, don't drink as much alcohol, eat more greens, eat more whole foods. All right? It's not complicated, it's not difficult. Little bits consistently make a huge difference. Okay? Diabetes is fine. I don't want to be ambivalent towards it, because other people are much worse affected than I am. But I want to be the positive spin on it, because I'm sure there's enough content out there going, oh no, it's all doom and gloom. How am I going to get through this? You will. You'll find your own way. Right. Thank you very much for watching. There's going to be more content, at least one a week moving forward in 2026. So please hit the subscribe button, like it, share it, drop me a comment. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.